That's excellent. That's a great list, everyone. You probably could keep going. And what it identifies is that when it comes to risk management, many heads are better than one. So risk management, identification of risk, which you've just done there, should be done by many people, because it takes a range of perspectives to see the range of problems, right? So when you're in a bubble, even if you've managed this same sort of event many times, and you could ask Danielle about this, you start to get into a bubble where you have a narrow view. Your perspective starts to narrow. Even though your skills expand, your perspective starts to narrow. And the things that are in the external environment that will present that point of difference are generally the things that could get you and you'd be unaware. So brainstorming around the types of risks, and we call this process identification of risk, is really important. So to get people with many different perspectives and experience is super helpful. So if you do a risk plan on your project and you give it to someone else who's not in your project team to look over, that's a really useful thing to do. So congratulations, risk managers. You have just gone through the first phase of risk management, which is risk identification. So I would think that most of those risks that you've listed there would be relevant to most of the projects that you are developing, that you would like to deliver. So isn't that helpful to have that list there already? So we're very well on our way to developing a plan. I'm going to share my screen with you now. We're going to have a little look at the risk management templates that we put together for you. Now, these are, you don't have to use these, but if you are new to project management, or this is your first opportunity to put a project together with a group of people, these can be helpful planning tools, right? So we really are talking about planning to reduce the impact of those sorts of risks on us. And I actually want to connect with the one there where somebody said opposition or no support. And that's where it's very important to identify who the key stakeholders are and engage them early. So let's say you didn't have support from council for your event, that's really going to impact on the success of your event. So they would be a key stakeholder to engage early. So those sorts of things, engagement of stakeholders is really important. So that's why we've put those sorts of things in your templates. Let me share my screen with you and we have a little run through those templates. And I think that this discussion helps to bring some of them alive. Now, if you haven't used them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's only there for you as an opportunity. Here's my slidey thing. There we go. So you will have done this phase here, which is the project initiation phase. So there is a life cycle to a project, and the life cycle is described here in this project lifespan. So this is a helpful way to break a project down, and you will see that when it comes to estimating the costs. So whenever when Alice and I or other people on the team are designing a project, we'll always try to think about the phases of the project, because it makes it so much easier to then determine the deliverables and then determine the costs of each deliverable, right? So people who are receiving a quote from you or a budget from you will appreciate this level of detail.